Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is the scene for the Changeling venue. Lord Valarius is
Whoa,
Lord Valarius is basically talking with one of his squires. Nice, wow.
Count
Um,
Valarius.
Nobody knows yet. Um, and he's concerned about him, and we'll start soon there.
Okay, so Kegoma is kind of hanging back after a previous meeting with all the boys. They were kind of like cutting up a little bit. So he's definitely in relaxed spirits. Um, but he kind of gets serious when Valerius kind of asks him to hang back. He kind of goes over. He's like, "Is there something you needed from me?"
No, I just want to talk to you.
Oh, well, anytime, of course.
Is everything okay?
At the moment, everything is fine. He kind of narrows his eyes and kind of gives you a once over. That's going to be a perception plus empathy.
Oh, don't worry.
Yep, we're going to the dice. Why can I never read Valerius? This is
Never.
horrible. Every time I fail. Every time.
Valerius looks unremarkably stoic.
No, he's not. I just failed my roll.
Can't read anything off him.
Okay. He kind of narrows his eyes. No, everything's cool. Everything's cool now, I should say. There was a kind of rough patch.
Care to explain?
Well, I'm not sure that I can. Um, about a week ago,
Mm-hmm.
I was wrapping up some accounts with uh, one of my like boss's bosses. His name is Ian. And Ian and I have this weird dynamic because he's my boss's boss at work, but he's also part of my retinue. So it's kind of weird. But we were hanging out, we were chilling, we were going over some accounts, and we went to like this martini bar uptown in Manhattan. And for the freaking life of me, that's the last thing I remember. Um, Later that night, Xander said that he, came to my apartment just to like chat about some stuff. And Ian was there, and apparently I had kind of like forgotten myself, like totally like succumb to like banality. Like he like couldn't see my Feymane, like nothing. And fortunately, he was smart enough to, on his own, to pump me full of glamour, and that kind of like jump started everything, and everything's fine. But were it not for some quick thinking for what's frankly a baby freaking changeling,
Mm-hmm.
um, I'm not sure what would have happened.
How I'm more surprised you didn't come to me and tell me.
Well, and I understand why you would be surprised. And let me just first say that the reason I didn't come to you is not because I don't trust you. The reason is more that it feels more embarrassing, because this is a job that I've done myself for a long time. It's something that I've chosen to do. It's not something that's been put upon me.
Mm.
Um, but it's kind of arrogant to think that I could survive in such an environment, being what I am. So it's stupid, it's dumb. I totally should have saw this coming. Hindsight's 2020. Um, so I was hoping that I could maybe escape some embarrassment and have this whole thing go unnoticed. But it seems as if it has gone unnoticed. he says it in a smiling fashion, but he's definitely kind of feeling kind of sheepish and embarrassed about the whole thing.
Uh, Valarius kind of cocks him a smile. Um, I think we all make mistakes, but um, he kind of looks at you and he's reading you. Hmm. What do you plan on doing about your job predicament? You can't stay, in the dreaming forever. You're like going some.
That's true. Since I kind of had that event about a week ago, I have been spending a lot of time in the dreaming and crutching, just like really concentrated on like the excuse me, really concentrated on the barony to kind of shift my like spiritual equilibrium back to kind of like the proper I don't know, factory settings, I guess. Um, but you're right. I can't do this forever. This is very a temporary thing. I submitted my 2 weeks resignation today.
Mhm.
So, I think, if anything, the banality that I'm going to be encountering within the next 2 weeks is going to be on a steady decline because you typically don't gear up someone when they're in their last 2 weeks. So it's definitely going to start winding down. And I was considering doing something that might be more suitable to the talents that I've already demonstrated, like book writing or fiction or something like that. Um, still a great big market out there. Still a lot of like resources that I could possibly capture and capitalize on, but a lot less of a banality-ridden venue. But that's just one of the ideas. I have like a couple of friends that are that write creatively, but they're out in San Francisco. So like we've been emailing back and forth. I might have to like take a trip out there to just see how practical it is, see if I can get an agent.
Mhm.
And there's some in New York as well. But I'm just kind of exploring that as a possibility. Um, you know, I'll have to switch some assets around, but I can recover from this.
I hope that you do. Seriously.
Yeah, it was really stupid. I mean, in hindsight, I mean, it was great money. um, I really didn't have to do that much work, so it was foolish for me to not have an exit strategy.
Okay. Um, Something a little bit more sensitive, which is why I didn't bring this up in front of everyone else. Um, your personal life.
Mm-hmm.
As you see, like he's trying to fix his words.
He kind of chuckles. Are you asking if I'm fucking anyone?
Oh no, I already figured that out a while ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
So, what's your top three?
there's really no top three. I know exactly who you're talking about.
Really? Kegoma looks skeptical.
As he kind of eyes you, do you really want to play this game with me?
I'm just not sure that you know. He's definitely think he's threaded the ace on this one. I don't think you know.
Don't I?
Okay, one, two, three. We'll say the name at the same time.
One, two,
Two,
three.
three.
Standing.
He doesn't say anything.
He looks at you and he just kind of smiles. Like, I knew for a while, actually.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I assume that you did because Eve alluded to some type of knowledge. at
She didn't
festival.
tell me. She didn't tell me.
Okay,
I didn't learn from Eve.
okay. Oh, she's a
Kept it a
perceptive
secret,
little.
actually, if you really want to know.
Yeah, she's very perceptive. I think it's those big eyes. I don't
Yeah,
know.
she has a way about her. Um,
Yeah. But yeah, you're right. It's right. You're right, Xander. I don't know. Okay, so we're of the same house, um, but unfortunately, we are not of the same kith. Hopefully, there's no blood pacts that prevent you from telling me how to get the fuck inside of a she's mind. Okay, so here's the deal. He said that he wants to just be like platonic. We had a conversation. I told him about like the curse, although I haven't experienced it really. I think I experienced the curse before I became part of the house, but um, I told him about the curse. He said, "Oh well, we're not talking about love. It's not that serious. Um, we're just having fun, right?" And then he hangs out with me every moment he could fucking get, and he's doing this sappy shit, doing the Google Eye thing, like kissing me at random moments. I'm just getting conflicting messages, so I just have no idea what's happening.
you're not stupid.
But why would he say that he didn't want anything serious, and then turn around and uh
Are
oh
you really playing this game?
nope,
This looks
sorry,
like
sorry. It made more sense when once I said it out loud. Nope, sorry. You're right.
my only concern, to be more serious about the fact, is that he he is just a baby,
He is very much a baby.
and I'm gonna be frank with you.
Please, always.
Um, your aspirations, I'm assuming you still want to become a parent, correct?
Of course.
There will be, you see the amount of scrutiny I'm under.
Yes. Yes.
Multiply that times 100 because you are what you are.
Yeah, I kind of figured that. Hmm.
Okay, as your friend,
Mm-hmm. He kind of leans forward at that.
I think it's adorable. Honestly, it is. It's adorable, and a small part of me is a tad bit jealous. Just a bit. Just a bit. I had to fucking get married. That's kind of like. But this isn't
well,
about me. This isn't about me. Anyway.
well, let's just keep it real. Were the situation any different, I don't think I
Oh,
would
hell yeah.
stand. I
Oh,
don't think I would stand a snowball's chance in hell.
hell
But,
yeah.
but you were saying, I'm sorry.
But before I deviate, you're going to have to do things. You're going to have a hell of a time explaining it.
Right.
As in, I know that the lives we live, it's extremely progressive,
Hmm.
but we're not that progressive.
Yeah, there's a
And
progressive bubble. There's this feeling of like love conquering all, and this
I,
different view of commoners. It's definitely a view within our house, and it's not that influential even within our house. So, I kind of had made some steps outside of our influence.
mhm,
Um, so I definitely know that.
okay.
a thing.
Um, there will be others who will essentially want to. Wow, we have viewers too. Um, there will be others who might want to stop you, who might see not necessarily you, but Xander as a liability,
Hmm,
a chink in your armor, so to speak.
right,
Um, I'm not gonna lie to you. It was hard for me and Eve.
right,
It is hard.
right.
As there's a lot of individuals who would like nothing more than to see me fail.
Hmm.
But you, on the other hand, you're already, sorry to say, you're already starting at a disadvantage.
Well, we're we're being honest. That's an ugly truth that's in the room, and it's going to be there.
Are you sure about this?
I'm not. I think um, I'm not acting from a rational place. Um, and for once in my life, it definitely feels good not to operate from a rational place. Um, it feels um, like it's a place of profound power, though. Um,
That it is. That it is.
but as you said previously, my sole reservation is that he's so young. He doesn't even know his true name yet.
That's what makes it right. As I said, I wouldn't say anything about that. So,
I
you,
mean, I I trust your advice, Valarius. I kind of really need a fresh perspective on this. I don't think I need to go with an emotional response. And I can understand how an emotional response can definitely carry me to make a less than advantageous move in this situation. Um, so really, just tell me what you think. I really don't know what to do.
I think that honestly, I think it's a. If I was in your position, I would do the same thing that you're doing. I would. Um, it feels good to be in a relationship like that, even if both parties are acting like it's not happening. I mean, it's adorable. But the rational side of me thinks that this is probably the stupidest thing you could probably do.
Exactly. It's like I can almost see the train wreck happening, but like I can't stop it. And it's almost like I'm getting some kind of like juvenile joy from saying "fuck the system," you know?
It it is juvenile, but there is a strength in it being juvenile, honestly, because that's really what me and Eve have. It's fucking silly. Like it really is. It's fucking silly.
It's
And
fucking perfect because it's non-conventional, but it works. It works, and if anybody would have stepped on that, it would have it would have been a tragedy not to see what that young love developed into because it's an entirely different entity right now.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that that's going to be me and Xander. And I'm not sure if there's really any way to play it out, but to play it out. But I feel like I have a responsibility as a kind of an older changeling to at least give him a shot at something
And
before fucking his whole world.
you kind of shat on that when you started fucking him. I mean, it's kind of what I was concerned about. You went from being his teacher to his lover.
Right.
That's kind of weird, is the best way to say that.
Inappropriate is another word.
I was trying to be respectful of the relationship.
I totally understand.
Um, so it's weird. He he doesn't even understand most of his urges yet.
Mm,
He's like displaying it, and I don't think he understands it yet. We had training and sparring. I think the other day.
mm-hmm,
He tried to block him. He got upset with me
mm-hmm,
because Xander, he's an alright swordsman,
mm-hmm.
but he has bad habits. When I say bad habits, he slouches a bit particularly on his right side.
Ah.
He leaves himself open, and I called attention to it. And I asked him once politely, like, you should probably stand up straight and hold your posture. Typical she arrogance. He rolled his eyes and did whatever. And I struck him. He got upset, and then he tried to do some sword kata whatever, and he got his ass handed to him. And then he decided that I told him to keep trying, like, you're not completely,
Shit.
bad at it.
Right.
Trying, right? So he got mad and like decided to, I don't know, punch a person holding a sword, and I was just like, well, this is new.
Oh, Xander.
So yeah, he kind of cut his hand open really nicely,
Oh boy.
which is why I asked about his hand today.
I
Um,
caught. I caught that.
yeah. Um, it's a lot to break that habit.
Wow.
No, like from I say this without an ounce of she arrogance. I have fucked up a lot, and probably could have saved myself a lot of heartache, drama, scorn, and more than a few duels if I was just able to come to grips with what I was and what I am.
Right.
I think that Xander needs to do that. And I think a lot of that growing up, ideally, it's easier if he did it outside of a relationship because he would be able to think more clearly. But in a relationship, and I can already tell he's falling for you fast. It's going to be it's a little bit messy, just to be blunt about it.
I know.
He shows a lot of the classic signs of a lot of. I'm going to have that talk with my son, but like my mom actually had to have the talk with me about how to conduct yourself as a she. And it's a doozy.
Yeah.
That's the best way. It's a doozy. It's more so. It's more prevalent with men because you already have the need to exert yourself on top of the fact that you're a she.
Right.
So it's magnified, and if you're not careful, those falls that you take sting more than they should.
Fuck.
Are you courting him?
We're following less formal rules of love. Kegoma says very technically.
As he puts up his hand, like,
Hey, he's learned a thing or two.
at least you learned something from me, especially. Expression, the better part of valor. I tell you, learn to keep your mouth shut. So, there will be a lot of doors that will probably close for him that he doesn't even know are open yet.
I know, he's so young. And he's a Liam on top of everything.
I just want him to be able to know the decisions that he's making.
Right. You can't make a
Or,
dec- you can't make a decision without having all the information.
and I think that the way he is right now, he doesn't care.
Right. Very brash.
And that lack of caring, I don't
Hmm.
even think I need to finish that. So,
Okay.
um, another thing, it's different. You said you've been in love before you were feeling.
Yes.
It's a whole different animal. It really is. It's a whole different animal. And
Yeah.
I'd be in remiss if I didn't at least warn you. It's in one hand, it is the most wonderful thing that you could ever, ever experience. It feels good. It feels wonderful. You want more of it. It's worse than heroin. And every chance you get to revel in it, the experience is always brand new. It's like the first time each and every time. It's wonderful. It's amazing. I can't even. It literally is best feelings I've ever. one of the best feelings I've ever experienced. On the other hand, that same love, that same passion, that same thing that fills me up is the same thing that has left me with more anguish than I care to admit.
Hmm.
It has made me do things that I didn't think were possible just to save myself from that feeling. Because you'll know what it is when you feel it.
Right.
It'll feel like you're about to shit your heart out. And a lot of times you'll feel like you're alone and you're the only one feeling it, and then all of a sudden it's happening. And there's no way you can actually really stop it. And the worst thing about it is you usually see it coming. Usually.
Fuck.
I will say that as long as you two remember what it is that brought you together, it helps you fight harder to keep it alive. But I assure you, if you're just doing it because it's fun, you'll definitely lose yourself in it. And you'll become like more of the other Fiona we don't tend to talk about, the ones that actively stop others from falling in love.
Well, that's a lot to think about. Bad part about it is I actually thought I was kind of doing something good by,
You are. And don't for a minute think that you aren't, because love, after all, it conquers all. It does.
but it does.
Yes, it does.
But
If you're willing to fight for it, if you're willing to bleed for it, then it's definitely worth it. If you're not, stop. No, seriously, knock it the fuck off.
right. I think what I just have to be clear about is that I'm fighting for him instead of me.
The less you take yourself out of the equation, that sense of self, the easier it gets.
Right.
So allowing him to make some of the decisions, because trust me, this feeling is going to get more and more intense.
Fuck.
And let somebody else look at him. Yeah.
I kind of
Let somebody else try to take your shiny away. They'll bring it halfway.
I kind of had that moment, and he mentioned that he was talking to someone else, and I almost gutted him like a fish.
Yeah, but it's serious. It's not telling you. You see Veronica. I'm just saying.
Fuck,
It gets real like that.
that's a very good point. Okay, you have to gease me to never curse someone with Susei. Do it now.
Nah, I'm not doing that to you. But
He's like, nope.
no,
Fuck
no,
what you heard.
no. Fuck what you heard. Stop doing that. You get to feel all of those wonderful emotions.
What have I done?
What any Fiona would do. Followed your heart. And don't. I'm not chastising you. Quite the opposite.
It
I,
doesn't. It doesn't feel that way at all. I'm really glad that we're having this conversation because it's long overdue. I needed to have it, but I feel embarrassed asking someone younger than me advice about like love, and I'm so confused.
well, it's less about you asking for advice about love. I'm not telling you how to fuck him. I'm more or less telling you.
Are you sure you don't have any pointers? Because anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Don't,
Finish what you were saying.
don't. That's just what.
Try to make light of a moment. Sorry.
As he looks at you and smirks, I have thought about it. Yeah.
Well, you do have metamorphosis, so if you could just we could do like a little presto
Don't give
change.
me ideas.
Okay.
I
Sorry.
am
Sorry.
already malicious enough.
Sorry.
You forget, most people think I'm responsible. I assure you that is not the case. I can almost promise you I'm like a kid at the candy store, and I kind of follow my emotions to grander pastures.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that may be true on in some respects, but
I
you're
mean,
pretty
hey,
you're
I
you're
was
pretty.
able, no, like to be serious, I was able to keep professional around you and not fuck you. It was hard, but know,
Thank you. Was I not imagining that?
no, no, it was definitely there.
Uh,
There was definitely friction for us for like a few months.
yeah.
I had to be responsible. And oh yeah,
Well, to be honest, I thought Eve was pretty hot too. But that being said, don't gut me like a fish.
catch like a fish. There's other things that have noticed my life, and I've learned to control my baser instincts. You'll have to do the same for us.
Oh, but why does this? I'm so. He kind of sits there with his head in his hands for a moment.
It's kind of like rub your head. Uh, just letting you know that what you're walking into.
And I appreciate it because you have perspective, and I'm operating from this emotional place that I really have no perspective whatsoever. Um, yeah, I mean, I can't, I couldn't expect a better conversation. uh, I really appreciate that. I really do appreciate this because I have to admit I've been feeling kind of lost.
I mean, it's normal to feel lost. I mean, at some point in time, even someone such as you. But
Lost,
yeah,
yeah, lost is kind of a new thing for Ishu though. So it's like fear to Fiona. It's like not.
oh, well, I don't know fear. I don't. I never have. You will know that fear is something should. I'm not saying it would, but if something happens to Xander, it is one of the worst feelings imaginable. It kind of comes crushing down on you like a sledgehammer, like literally a sledgehammer to the chest. And
Wow.
you'll be in a position, and like I wish somebody gave me that talk when I was like soaring through the ranks, and somebody sat my ass down. But,
Would
somebody
have
sat
done?
my fast ass down. Nope, tell me shit. So
Would it have
I
done any good?
I would have fucking totally done that shit again. But but for you and like for you, for Richard, for like all of you, you're soaring in the ranks. You are becoming more. And with that is a certain amount of responsibility. And
Definitely.
you don't get to enjoy, the being naive
Right.
to like not knowing, to not caring, and just kind of throwing all caution to the wind. You'll all of us will find ourselves making incredibly hard decisions that will impact not only our lives but the lives of everyone around us. And more so with you because eventually you'll be a parent.
Hmm.
You'll have your own children, people that your own legacy,
Right.
and things you'll be leaving for others. You've already made a name for yourself, and you're only going up. Just to put things in perspective, people will start looking at you differently. People will start distancing distancing themselves from you, either out of fear or not knowing. And you'll have the damnedest time trying to relate, even though you'll like sincerely want to.
Just for the record, this
Yo,
time, this time, I'm going to believe you. We've had this conversation before, and I didn't really think that you hit the nail on the mark. You told me before, becoming part of the house, people are going to look at me different. I'm not she, so there's a definite expectation, and there's definite social challenges that I'll have to overcome. And I was perhaps more naive then than I am now. Um, and I really didn't really. I kind of didn't believe. Well, maybe it was I didn't want to believe what you told me. But now, having a lot more experience and seeing what I've seen, I definitely am picking up what you're putting down.
yep, you'll be holding the mantle. There will be others that will be coming behind you, looking to you for advice. They already are.
That's a very big decision. That kind of colors a lot of my future. Not even mine, just it's a very pivotal moment.
It's probably the most exciting time to be a changeling, you know? Like,
It's very exciting. It's
it's
addicting and
exciting. Like,
yeah,
you're you're in love, you're soaring in rank, and everything's
yeah,
happening, and it's all good. It's all happening
everything.
at once.
It
And
feels like everything is going my way. All the cards are falling my way, but it also feels like things are moving so quickly that there's things that I'm missing because I don't have the proper perspective.
that's why I'm here.
Fuck.
So definitely, no, seriously, have a very serious discussion with Xander
Yeah, I think it's overdue.
before you both play with fire.
Right. You pose a very persuasive point. So, um, if we're going to do this, we need to do it with our eyes open
Mhm.
and be totally prepared and ready for the consequences. Um, but as the more mature person in the relationship, there's stuff that he just doesn't aware of that I kind of. This is going to be a decision that I have to make for myself, not a decision that we necessarily enter into together.
That's where you're wrong, because it's not you in love with you; it's
Oh,
him in love with you.
yeah.
Don't. I believe me when I.
Ah, I'm so confused.
No, seriously, I made that decision. I tried to make all of the decisions for Eve, and it like shit almost cost me my relationship. Don't do that. That's a trap.
Right, right. You're totally right.
Let him make
So
the decision, won't you?
that's it. That's it. It has to be through communication. This is where we're at. These are our decisions. Yeah, yeah. That feels right.
And it's going to feel good. It's nothing like being in love like a feeling. All of you little piece.
Oh, until that sucker punch comes.
Oh, that sucker punch. But you keep coming back to it like Chris Brown and Rihanna. You just want more of it. So I totally fall. I hit the wall. Don't worry about my black eye. It's okay. Yeah.
Thank you, Valarius. Really, thank you. This is like years of therapy happened in an hour.
I do it like that. As he yawns. I mean, come on. I don't even live here anymore. I moved in with Eve. I don't have servants anymore.
I figure you have some kind of knocker contraption by now that acted as a servant of some type.
Damn it. I actually have to do my own laundry. It's a type of bullshit. Yeah.
I could probably create a water net for you to do your laundry.
It's not a big deal. Don't tell Eve. She's like having us like a sick girl out of it, just watching me like do actual work.
That's the Eve I remember.
And it's like sick. She wants me to like do dishes and shit. And like I really don't know how to do it since I haven't done it since my like sailing. It's just like the first time she handed me the sponge. I was like, "What the fuck do you do with this?" And she, like, wash the dishes. Like, what do you mean wash it? Like, I literally turned around and called for someone. Like, she couldn't stop laughing for about 10 minutes. What? Like, I kind of just get up and leave, and somebody takes
oh, that's so funny. My side. I think Sam got a good whack in. I didn't realize. Oh shit.
away dishes. I like almost destroyed the first washing machine because I like just threw everything in at the same time. I like ruined like
no.
Yeah.
No.
I'm like completely hopeless at some things, but like actual work, like things that most people know how to do, like laundry, cooking. Right. No, I actually know how to cook because it's fun, but
right.
Everything else, like the mundane shit, I have no idea how to do, like taxes, IDs and shit. No, I don't deal with that. I kind of just yell at people and it kind of happens.
Taxes on your dude. Yeah, dishes, that's not really the important stuff. You're good at all the bits that count, so.
Yeah.
And you're putting in the work in the other places, so.
Yeah, so, like I said before, you have to put in the work and be serious about it.
That's
but
good.
Then again, you know, beggars can't be choosers. You'll be fine. Just a Fiona talking to a Fiona. What you're walking into.
I appreciate it. I had no perspective, no hope of achieving any type of perspective. And I was too stupid to ask for help, so.
All right, I see the way this relationship is going to work as I look at my squires and knights. It seems I'm going to have to be the mature adult in this relationship.
In some areas, I think I'm too stupid for my own good.
You know, you're too smart for your own good, and I'm going to have to, like, hit you a few times for you to get
Well, you won't have to tell. I promise you won't have to tell me more than once to correct my posture.
He'll be fine. He just.
Yeah, but it's good.
We were like sparring with swords and like shit's sharp. Like the fuck, like. And, like dude was just like, I'm coming at you like, fuck. I'm just like, all right.
unadvisable as it may be.
Okay.
Come at me, sir.
All right, slice your hand open. Okay. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go sleep on this.
Sleep on it. Think about it.
Let this all digest mentally.
Digest mentally so you have some type of clear perspective about what's going on.
Yeah.
And remember, it's the love that matters. Remember the love.
Yeah.
Because I assure you, there will be times where you're going to want to punch him in the throat. Like, Valarius' face goes like dead serious, like no seriously.
Well, right now,
Remember the love.
I have to pretend that I'm mad at him just to get him to stop being such an asshole sometimes.
Yeah.
That's like the only thing he understands if like I like come at him from a position of anger, or if I get that one tone where I'm like, well, you realize that this is what you should have done. I have to like go all Dr. Spock on him.
Well, I'm just saying, it's like cute for like the first few months. It's just like, ha ha ha, that's adorable. It's like, like, no, no, really, like this shit is happening.
Right.
Like this is your life. Like
Right.
this is a train wreck that is your life. Like
The
not
fuck? Right. You're right. This is just like been like a month of chemistry. So as great as it is, who the
Yeah.
fuck knows?
Sometimes you just need to look at things with a more. I can't believe I am the one that's saying this shit. Oh my god.
You can't believe it.
I can't believe this shit.
I'm finding it hard to even
I am the one that's saying this shit.
to even
I'm
process.
laughing the hell out of me of all people. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I thank you for your vote of confidence. I really, really appreciate this again. Again.
It's fun.
uh, all right, I'm getting out of here. He gives you a hug.
He gives you a hug, hugs you back. All right.
All right, be good.
Be good, man.
All right.
All right.
He's out.
With that, Valarius kind of eases back in his chair with a long, exasperated sigh. Uh, I hate being responsible. I hate it. It makes me sick. I know what I'll do. Time to go instigate a food fight. As he goes down to the kitchen to grab some pies and grabs a few child wounds in his barony. Alright, let's wreak some havoc. And he kind of dashes off in a direction. With that, we'll leave Valarius instigating a food fight with like 7 other child wounds in his barony. And with that, it is a scene.
Woo!